Okay guys, here's this method. It's solving by elimination. It's personally my favorite method, and I hope you like it too. Here are the steps. I don't think I need to read them to you. You can read them yourself. We did them in class, but we're going to go through all of the steps for each of the examples. Our first example, the two equations are 7x plus 2y equals 10 and negative 7x plus y equals negative 16. This example is actually set up perfectly for elimination. I couldn't have made it more perfect. Because if you look at this coefficient here and this coefficient here and this coefficient right here, they're already opposite, 7 and negative 7, so that when I add these two equations together, they're going to automatically cancel out. So that's what we do. The first step is done for us. We're going to add these together. So when I add these together, 7x and negative 7x is 0. These guys cancel out. Then I add my 2y and my y, and I get 3y. And then I add 10 and negative 16, and I get negative 6. And then I go ahead and divide by 3. Oh, by the way, so the x is eliminated. That was the whole point. That's why we call this elimination. Okay, so we divide by 3 to solve for y. We get y equals negative 2. Once we've got our y, we take what y equals and we substitute it back into either equation for y. I'm going to substitute it right here. I think that will be the easier equation. So we have negative 7x plus negative 2 equals negative 16. We add 2 to both sides. So I have negative 7x equals negative 14. Divide by negative 7. So x equals 2. So my solution is 2, negative 2. Remember, if we graph these two lines, this is the point where they would cross. Okay, so my next example is 24x plus 2y equals 52 and 6x minus 3y equals negative 36. As you can see, it's not set up perfectly like it was last time, so I'm going to have to multiply by something in order to get one of my variables to drop out. I can either take this 6 and make it a negative 24, or I could make my 2 and my 3 6 and negative 6. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and just multiply 6 by negative 4, or this whole equation by negative 4, so that I can get this to become a negative 24. So multiply this by negative 4, and it's going to become negative 24x plus 12y equals 144. And my top equation is just going to stay the same, but I'm just going to rewrite it over here so that I keep everything organized and easy to follow. Okay, now at this point I have 24x and negative 24x, so I'm going to go ahead and add my equations together. My x's are going to cancel out. I'm going to have 14y equals 196, and then I'm going to divide by 14. I believe 196 divided by 14 is 14. Let's see. Yeah, it's 14. So now that I've got y, I take what y equals, and I'm going to plug this in for y in one of my equations. I'll plug it into this bottom equation. So I'm going to have 6x minus 3 times 14 equals negative 36. 6x, 3 times 14 is 42, minus 42 equals negative 36. Add 42 to both sides. So 6x equals 6. Divide by 6, x equals 1. And I'm all done, except for I have to write my answer as a coordinate point. And there it is. Okay, so for our last example, we have 4x plus 5y equals 15 and 6x minus 4y equals 11. If you noticed, 4 does not go into 6. And I can't multiply anything by 4 to get it to be 6, and I can't multiply anything by 4 to get it to be 5. So it looks like I'm going to have to multiply both equations by something. I could either make both of these numbers 24, or positive 24 and negative 24, or I could make both of these guys 20 and negative 20. I think I'm going to go with the y's. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply my bottom, or my top equation by 4, and then my bottom equation by 5. So when I do that, this is going to become 20y, and this is going to become negative 20y. So then they'll cancel out. When I multiply this through, I get 16x plus 20y equals 60, and I get 30x minus 20y equals 55. So I've got what I need, 20y and negative 20y. Next step is to add these two equations together. So 16x plus 30x is 46x. My y's cancel out, equals 115. When I divide by 46, I'm looking, I'm going to have fractions, but they're not horrible fractions. 115 divided by 46, 23 goes into both of them, so we simplify to get 5 halves. Once I've got my 5 halves, x equals 5 halves, I'm going to plug it in to either one of my equations and solve for y. So I'll plug it in right here. So 6 times 5 halves minus 4y equals 11. So this is 15 minus 4y equals 11. Subtract 15. I get negative 4y equals negative 4. And divide by negative 4. So y is 1. And then write my answer as an ordered pair, 5 halves, 1. Okay, so we've solved 3 kinds of systems of equations. One where you had to multiply no equations, one where you had to multiply one where you had to multiply 2 equations by something. Now keep in mind you can always multiply both equations. There's always lots of options to solve these. You could come into class and solve this problem, several different ways. So I want you to make sure that just because you maybe didn't solve it the way I did, you're still gonna you could still get the right answer. And finally, my joke: a neutron walks into a bar and asks, "Hey, how much for a beer?" The bartender says, "For you, no charge." Get it?